federal governments or individual state governments? Who has more authority? Let's break down the 10th Amendment.
At the heart of the federal versus states' rights issue is the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. So we're going to break that down today to give you a better understanding of what is really going on and who has what power according to the Constitution, also known as the supreme law of the land. Here we go. The powers not delegated to the United States. We have three things here. Powers, which is authority, not delegated, delegated means given, and United States refers to the federal government. This means there are powers or authority specifically delegated to the federal government by the Constitution, the whole document itself. This also tells me there are powers available that are not delegated or given to the federal government. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, which means the states have not prohibited that power to the federal government. Wait a second. How can a state prohibit power from the federal government? That would be an amendment. Those powers that are not delegated to the federal government by the Constitution, nor prohibited to it by the states, according to an amendment, are reserved. Reserved means set aside, like you reserve your seats. They are set aside so all those powers or authority are reserved to the states respectively. Another big concept here, meaning each of the 50 states can have their say-so on any issue not written in the Constitution, or to the people. So the Constitution allows for individuals, just like you, to create a law. Very cool. So let's go through this one more time. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited to it by the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. Now this tells me two things, which is really huge. One, the federal government is limited by the Constitution to very specific powers. This also tells me that anything not written in the Constitution for the federal government specifically, that authority is held by the states. Any federal versus states' rights issue can be broken down to this one main concept. If it is written in the Constitution, the federal government has authority. If it is not written in the Constitution, the states or the people have authority. Plain and simple. To help illustrate this, there are two big issues that are always contentious: welfare and illegal immigration. Welfare. Who has authority over that? First, you have to do what? Yes, read the Constitution to find out who has authority over welfare. Well, when the Constitution was made, was welfare in existence? No. They did not even think about that. So it was never specifically given to the federal government. How about the amendments? Yes, there could have been an amendment since the Constitution was written, so you have to go through all the Constitution and amendments to know for sure. If nothing is there giving specific authority over welfare to the federal government, then each of the 50 states, reserved to the states respectively, can write their own rules, create their own laws about welfare. Here's another one, a little more gray area. Illegal immigration, which has been huge in the news these past few years. The state of California recently passed a law telling all state authorities not to cooperate with the federal government's ICE officials with regards to illegal immigration. The law states no government authority in California may cooperate with the federal government about illegal immigration to help detain any person who is here illegally. California says it is a states' rights issue and has full authority in our state, according to the Constitution, to not allow you, federal government, to come in and arrest someone who is here illegally. You have no constitutional authority over illegal immigration. Now we have a classic federal versus states' rights conflict. The federal government is saying they have authority because the Constitution gives the federal government authority over the security of our nation. The state of California says, no, we have authority because this issue is not specifically written in the Constitution, and according to the 10th Amendment, any power not specifically given to you, federal government, is left to us, the states. Oh boy. So now what happens? The federal government says, we have authority, and the state says, we have authority. This is where the Supreme Court comes into play. Whenever the federal government and the state disagree on what the Constitution says, the Supreme Court is the deciding factor according to the separation of powers built into the Constitution. You'll get more detailed in the government class on this. For now, know that it is the Supreme Court's job to look at the Constitution and decide who actually has authority over any disagreements on what the Constitution means for any particular issue. So if this dispute about illegal immigration in California continues, there will be somebody who challenges this new law, and eventually it will end up in the Supreme Court. This is how this portion of the constitutional system works. Once again, here's the bottom line. If an issue is not written specifically about in the Constitution, giving the federal government authority, an individual state has authority over it. Should both the federal government and a state claim to have authority, the Supreme Court will decide.
And that is the federal versus states' rights issue, with the 10th Amendment at the center of it all.